Good afternoon, welcome to the saw shop. It is hot, hot, hot. But it is the 4th of July, so happy 4th of July. Thank God I'm American. Thank God that he placed me in a place where I could have the freedom to do things I want to do. And thank God for giving us 250 years of freedom. But I wanted to get a lot of questions about what's base delete mean, and how do I know if I can do it to my saw? All right, so what base deletes, it means is deleting the base gasket from under the cylinder head. And why you do that is to tighten up the combustion chamber. When you remove the base gasket, it drops the cylinder head just that little bit, well, however thick the base gasket is, and that makes the combustion chamber that much smaller. Making a smaller combustion chamber boosts compression, therefore makes a hotter fire and a bigger boom at the top, which ultimately equals more power. So anyway, here's how I go about it when I get a saw. Before I do anything to a saw, when I get ready to build it, I always check the squish, because I like to know what I'm dealing with before I ever start. So, and the squish is the amount of distance between the top of the cylinder head, the compression band of the cylinder head, and the top of the piston. Because that cannot be, if it gets too tight, the piston will hit, and that's a no-no. So let's pop the cover off. This is a 545 professional. It's one of my firewood saws, and this will probably be one of my builds coming up. I'm gonna try to get a little more power. I'm gonna port the cylinder head, probably base delete. I know more than likely we'll port the cylinder head and try to get up there to where my 550 will be pretty close. 550 stock with a ported muffler. I think I can port this and it'll be very similar. But anyway, let's get the spark plug out. The 5 Series had these little spark plugs. The 5/8, where most are 13/16. These are like the ones, I think the 362 and the 261 still has this small plug as well. But anyway, so I got the plug out. What this is a piece of solder. This is 40,000 solder, because if it's more than this, I know we can base delete. There ain't no question about it. But we're going to make a little L on it, because this has to go over into the squish band on the edge. So what I'm gonna do is stick that little L down in there and push it to the side. And then I'm gonna ease up the crank rope. I'll feel the resistance and it will squeeze it. And I have a smash. I don't know if you can see that. You can see it smashed it just a little bit right out here on the tip. And so we're gonna measure that and see what we got. So that's like 31 to 32 thousandths. So this is one of them situations where I still can't really answer if we're gonna base delete this or not, but it tells me what I got to think about. So what'll happen is, once I get into the saw, pull the cylinder head off, what I'll do is I'll take that base gasket and I'll measure it. If it's anywhere, say 14, 15 or less thickness, then probably gonna base delete, because that means it's gonna give me 17 or so. And without any without any right stuff, that'll give me another 1 or 2. So that'll put me in that 18, 19 range, which is probably about perfect for one of these saws. But that's how you check the squish. That's how you kind of determine. A lot of these saws are going to be around 38 to 40, right in that range stock. A lot of your XPs and your steel products, they'll be, your professionals are more in this range, that 32, 34,000 range, and you've got to measure that, and then measure your base gasket so you know what you're dealing with. But you always want somewhere before you put any sealer on it, you want somewhere in the 16 or 17 thousandths or greater before. This right here, like I said, will give me about 1 to 2 thousandths in there once I put it on and put it down. So if I was guessing right now, we probably will base delete this, and what that does is actually boost compression in the compression chamber. So, but anyway, with that being said, that's how you determine the squish. That's also how you determine making the decision, am I going to base delete or not. So I hope that answers some people's questions. My plan is to base delete this probably once we port it. So, all right, have a good one.